iDriveSoCal is brought to you by the best automotive retailers from across Southern California. We consider our dealer partners friends and highly recommend them. When it's time for you to buy, just go to iDriveSoCal.com and click on dealers to get connected. Or email me and I'll personally introduce you. Tom at iDriveSoCal.com. That's Tom, T-O-M, at the letter I, drive like drive a car, SoCal like Southern California.com. Tom at iDriveSoCal.com. Now, on with the podcast. Welcome to iDriveSoCal, the podcast, all about mobility from the automotive capital of the United States, Southern California. Tom Smith here with the good professor, Mr. Clinton Kwan. Say hello, Clinton.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, my friend. This here podcast that we're going to be putting together is actually it was an idea from our good friend out at Ontario Volkswagen, Randy Halcomb. He came across a list that was from Autoblog, but it was published originally. Autoblog referenced Wall Street cheat sheet. And what it is the 10 best-selling vehicles globally of all time. And now, I nicknamed the professor because he knows the most granular detail of things that you just you shouldn't really know, I don't think, but he does. I mean, he just like, oh, dude, can you believe that they're making the muffler out of this material on this car for this year? It's crazy. Like, I wouldn't ever think of that ever, but the professor knows about it and gets excited about it. So that's why we call him the professor. But at any rate, he keeps his finger on the pulse of everything coming out of domestic car makers, import car makers, luxury, exotics, you name it, he knows it. So this list is going to be a little bit of a challenge for him. And actually, to be honest, this is the second time that we started recording this podcast, because the first one that we did, I tried to get him to tell me what the top 10 were, and there was so much dead air. He was doing good. I think he had like 4 or 5 out of 8, and but there's so much dead air that I just like, okay, dude, we got to start this one over. So at any rate, so this is what we're gonna do. It's the list is the top 10 best-selling vehicles of all time, and at iDriveSoCal.com we're gonna link I'll link this post to the Autoblog post, and you can see and props to Autoblog for, well, they actually republished it from Wall Street cheat sheet. But so, Professor, a little hint for you. Our good friend Randy Halcomb from Ontario Volkswagen
Beetle.
Correct. Volkswagen Beetle is one of the top 10. Volkswagen Beetle is actually number 4. Number 4 best-selling car globally of all time, Volkswagen Beetle.
Toyota Corolla.
Okay, now he's just going to rattle off all the ones that he got right before. Toyota Corolla, yes, that's the number 1 best-selling vehicle
Of all time. Honda Civic.
Honda Civic, he got that one right too, folks. That is the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoops. That is right. Honda Civic is the number 6 best-selling vehicle of all time. What else you got?
Volkswagen Jetta.
Jetta is not on the list.
Honda Accord.
Honda Accord, you got that one last time too. Honda Accord is on the list. Number 8 best-selling vehicle of all time.
Nissan Sentra.
Nissan's not anywhere on the list.
Nissan's not anywhere on the list.
Global. So when Randy first told me about it, my first guess was the Model T.
It's a Model T?
Model T is number 9.
Really? Wow.
Now,
I didn't, even though I know they did sell a lot of vehicles, I didn't think that it would still be.
but you got to think the Model T. Henry Ford mass produced the Model T
Yeah.
in such a way, and he had like insane market share for a number of years. And actually, I've read a couple of biographies on Henry Ford, and he kind of got a little kooky in his late age, or whatever. However you perceive it, he got kooky. He was always kooky, whatever. But he was criticized by his executives around him because they had all kinds of inventory, but he kept on saying, we got to make them faster. And they're like, but Henry, we're not selling what we have anymore. For a long while, they were. And actually, one of the docents that I talked to at the Automotive Driving Museum, the head docent there, actually, he was telling me, and there's a picture of me from that podcast on iDriveSoCal.com, sitting on one of their Model in one of their Model Ts. And I'm like, man, I can sit in this. Yeah. Well, obviously we know the Automobile Driving Museum, you get to go for rides on Sundays in their actual cars. But
Yes.
but in this case, they let me sit in the Model T that was in the showroom, and the docent said, yeah, the Model T, they made so many of them that there are plenty of Model Ts still available. And
Really?
and beyond that, there's plenty of parts still available.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. And actually, Ford is also represented on this list in 2 different ways.
2 different ways.
2 different ways.
Okay.
The Ford Escort, number 7,
Wow. Which they don't even make anymore.
and the Ford F-Series.
Okay, that doesn't
trucks.
surprise me.
Totally makes
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yeah, well, the F-Series doesn't. It's not a surprise because that's consistently number 1 selling vehicle in the United States,
So
month after month.
So then you also have Volkswagen, again, Randy from Ontario Volkswagen tipped me off to this. So we've already mentioned the Beetle. The Golf is actually number 3.
Oh, yes,
beat
the
the
Golf.
Beetle, right?
Yes.
We just did
Yeah. Yeah, the
a
Golf.
vehicle review on the
Yeah.
Golf. And the Golf has like there's a family of Golfs.
Yes.
I mean, some manufacturers don't make as many cars as the various options of Golfs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you also have at number 10 the Volkswagen Passat.
Really?
Yep.
I'm
So-
shocked.
So here's the list. Number 10, the Volkswagen Passat. Number 9, the Ford Model T. Number 8, the Honda Accord. Number 7, the Ford Escort. Number 6, the Honda Civic. Number 5 is the outlier. I would have never gotten this one. You wouldn't either. The Lada Riva.
The what? I have no idea what that even is. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to
Or,
spell
I'm
that.
sorry, did I say that was number 7?
Number 5, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, number 5. The Lada Riva.
I have no idea what
Exactly.
that even is.
And it's actually a Russian vehicle.
Oh, okay. So I guess they must sell a lot of those in Russia.
Yeah, it's older. Let's see. It first hit the scene in the former Soviet Union in 1980. Okay, so that's a situation where probably one of the only cars that you could buy, right? It was probably a similar situation with completely different political circumstances, but a similar situation to the Model T. I would assume, just
Yeah.
supply, demand, and availability of whatever there is. So again, 10 is the Volkswagen Passat, 9 is the Model T, 8 is the Honda Accord, 7 is the Ford Escort, 6 is the Honda Civic, 5 is the Lada Riva, 4 is the Volkswagen Beetle, 3 is the Volkswagen Golf, 2 is the Ford F-Series, which same thing as the Golf, right? The F Series. I mean, there's a gazillion different Fs. Obviously, the F-150 is the biggest seller.
Yeah.
But those are the F Series goes back before the 150 and 250 and 350 as we know it, I believe, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then number 1 is the Toyota Corolla. So, interesting little list. Again, thanks to our friends over at...
3 Volkswagens on that list.
Right?
Quite impressive.
Yeah.
But they are, I'm trying to remember, I think they still are the number 1 automaker when you include all of their brands.
Say that again?
I believe they're still the number 1 automaker in the world when you include all of their brands.
But the Volkswagen brands include Volkswagen,
Audi, Lamborghini, Bentley. So there's a number of brands.
Porsche.
Porsche. And then there's some brands that aren't sold in the U.S.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Just to throw that out there again.
Very interesting list.
Right? Number 1, Toyota Corolla. Number 1, best-selling car of all time globally. Number 2, Ford F-Series pickup trucks. Number 2, best-selling vehicle of all time globally. Number 3, Golf, Volkswagen Golf, best-selling vehicle of all time globally. 4, Volkswagen Beetle, globally best-selling vehicle. 5, Lada Riva, Soviet Union.
Is that a compact vehicle?
It's a 4-door.
It's a 4-door. But is it?
It almost looks like a. It almost looks like
similar in size to maybe like a Corolla or a Civic.
Hard to tell by that picture, but to me, it almost looks like an old Volvo or an old Saab.
For that, in that decade, that would be probably comparable to a Corolla.
Okay.
Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic.
So the Lada Riva is 5. The Honda Civic is 6. The Ford Escort is 7. The Honda Accord is 8. The Ford Model T is 9, and I'm still proud that I got that one right. And then the Volkswagen Passat is 10. So yeah, Volkswagen's got 30% of the top 10 vehicles of all time that in sales.
That's
pretty significant, huh?
Yes.
All
very,
right.
very significant.
All right.
Yeah, of all time. That's very impressive.
Well, there you have it. It was a fun list to share with the professor, and folks, I think you're going to appreciate the fact that we're posting this podcast as opposed to the previous one because it was just like the professor. I couldn't get it out of him. He's like, but you were doing good. You were doing good. You got 5 of 8. You were doing good, but it was taking forever.
Yeah.
We're 10 minutes into the podcast, and I think 4 words were spoken. Come on.
Well, I don't know what vehicles are sold in a lot of the other countries, so...
Well,
yeah.
And you know what's surprising is that China and India, the 2 countries that have the most people,
yes,
aren't represented at all.
Yes. I'm trying to think. Well, there's currently no Chinese vehicles sold here in the U.S., but
they have their own vehicles that they sell to their people.
Yes, they
as
do.
does India, right?
Yes, correct.
The Tata, I believe, is an Indian vehicle.
Yes, I believe that's an Indian vehicle.
Big seller.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Professor, thank you for joining. Everybody, thank you for listening. I know this is a little bit of a random one, but we had fun talking about it. And it's interesting, right?
It is. That is very interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
So before we go, number 1, Corolla. Number 2, Ford F-Series. Number 3, Volkswagen Golf. Number 4, Volkswagen Beetle. Number 5, Lada Riva. Number 6, Honda Civic. Number 7, Ford Escort. Number 8, Honda Accord. Number 9, Model T. Number 10, Volkswagen Passat. Professor, thank you. Thank you for listening for Tom Smith. No? For iDriveSoCal, I'm Tom Smith. Thank you again for listening. Howdy. Still here, huh? That's cool, but this one's pretty much done. But we have tons of additional content at our website, iDriveSoCal.com. If you're not listening from there already, you should definitely check it out. From there, you can subscribe to our newsletter, the podcast, or leave a note. And I'd love to hear from you too. Here's my email, tom@iDriveSoCal.com. That's Tom, T-O-M, at iDrive, the letter I, drive like drive a car, SoCal like Southern California.com. tom@iDriveSoCal.com. Thanks again for listening, and please reach out with whatever's on your mind.